Something wild just happened in the Senate Intelligence Committee. And honestly, it's going to change how people see the Trump administration's handling of classified info, probably for good. Senator Chuck Schumer cracked open a heavily redacted whistleblower complaint, set it right in front of the C-SPAN cameras so everyone could see the blacked-out lines, and started reading out the one-name director of national intelligence Tulsi Gabbard had spent 8 months trying to keep buried. The person close to President Trump referenced in the NSA Intercept has been identified as Jared Kushner. That landed like a punch. Gabbard went pale in seconds, hands shaking so hard she had to clasp them just to keep it together. But here's the thing. That wasn't even the moment that made every reporter in the gallery lean in. The real shock came next. Schumer revealed the intercepted chat between 2 Iranian intelligence operatives wasn't just idle talk about Kushner. They had details, stuff about his private conversations on Middle East policy that only someone with direct access should have known. If you're just tuning in, subscribe and hit the bell now, because what's coming next blows open the biggest intelligence breach in recent American history, and it's aimed right at the top of Trump's White House. The day was supposed to be a standard oversight hearing. You know the drill, annual budget talks, those routine briefings where intelligence chiefs give polished, useless answers while pretending to cooperate. Tulsi Gabbard rolled in at 10:15 a.m., flanked by 6 lawyers and enough briefcases to stock a small law firm. They'd prepped for every possible question about whistleblower complaints, NSA intercepts, and intel sharing rules. For 3 hours, everything went exactly as planned. Republicans showered Gabbard with praise for her intelligence reforms, talking up her supposed fight against deep state corruption. Democrats pushed on the tougher stuff, the purges of longtime intelligence staff, her weird appearance at the Georgia election raid, and why she sat on that whistleblower complaint for months before shipping it to Congress. Gabbard dodged and weaved through every challenge, hiding behind ongoing probes, classification rules, and privacy laws. Then at 1:47 p.m., Chairman Mark Warner handed the mic to Senator Schumer. The room's mood snapped to attention. Everyone knew Schumer only asked for time when he had something big, something that could end careers. He built his name as a federal prosecutor in New York, tearing down organized crime with relentless focus. When Schumer brings classified docs to a hearing, the stakes skyrocket. A manila folder sat front and center on his desk, red classification stripes impossible to miss. Gabbard clocked it right away. Her eyes flicked to the folder and back to Schumer's face in a split second. If you watched closely, you saw it. Fear, real and raw, flash across her features. "Director Gabbard," Schumer started, Brooklyn accent steady, like he already knew how this ended. "I want to discuss the NSA intercept at the center of the whistleblower complaint against you. Specifically, the identity of the American citizen mentioned by 2 Iranian operatives in their intercepted call." Gabbard stiffened. She tugged at her jacket, one of those little self-soothing moves people do when the pressure spikes. "Senator, I can't discuss classified material in an open hearing. That has to happen in a secure facility." Schumer didn't miss a beat. "Of course," he replied, and suddenly everyone in the room realized Gabbard had walked right into his trap. "But we're not in open session anymore, Director. 30 seconds ago, I invoked Section 8 of the Intelligence Committee procedures. We're classified now." Just like that, the room changed. C-SPAN switched to a classified session in progress graphic. The gallery doors locked. Gabbard's face gave it away. She knew Schumer had her cornered. Then Schumer opened the folder, slow and deliberate, and said, "Let's talk about Jared Kushner." The name landed in the chamber like a punch. Gabbard's face lost all color in seconds, so fast her own lawyers noticed. Her hands started to shake just a little at first, then worse. One of her attorneys leaned in, whispering something urgent, but Gabbard seemed miles away, eyes locked on Schumer. You could see the shock, the fear, and that awful understanding that everything she'd built for her defense was coming apart. Schumer held up a document. This is NSA Signal Intelligence Report 2025-0423. It's the intercept at the center of the whistleblower complaint. The call was between two Iranian Ministry of Intelligence officers, intercepted April 23, 2025 at 2:37 p.m. local time. Here's the part you need to hear. The room went dead silent. Schumer read, voice steady. Our contact confirms the son-in-law provided detailed briefing materials about the Saudi nuclear cooperation agreement 3 days before the official announcement. The information included classified technical specifications that only someone with direct access to NSC deliberations could possess. He continues to be valuable for our regional planning. That's the quote. The effect was brutal. Gabbard's hands shook harder. She couldn't keep her papers steady. Her breathing turned shallow and quick. Every bit of color drained from her face. Under the harsh lights, she looked almost gray. Director Gabbard, Schumer pressed on, voice sharp. This intercept shows Iranian intelligence had inside knowledge of classified National Security Council discussions from someone they call the son-in-law. Jared Kushner was senior advisor with exactly that access. Would you agree this is a national security breach of the highest order? Gabbard tried to answer, but nothing came out. She grabbed her water, hand shaking so badly it spilled over the rim. Cameras caught every drop. Senator, she finally managed, voice barely more than a whisper, cracking under the strain. Intelligence assessments about intercepted communications need thorough analysis in classified settings. I can't make judgments about specific individuals with only partial information. Partial information, Schumer shot back, his outrage impossible to miss. Director, your own analysts considered this credible enough for immediate distribution to senior officials, but you took it straight to the White House and had it buried. Why? Gabbard looked at her attorneys. Both looked like they were weighing whether they'd regret representing her. Senator, distributing intelligence involves a lot: source protection, operational security, risk of misinterpretation. Schumer pulled out another document, taking his time with it. Let's clear things up. This is your personal meeting log for April 24, 2025. At 3:22 p.m., you met privately with Jared Kushner. The meeting lasted 47 minutes. In a secure conference room at the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. The purpose: intelligence briefing, Middle East. Now the trap was obvious. Gabbard sat frozen, breathing so hard you could hear it across the room. Routine briefings with senior officials are part of coordinating intelligence, she said, trying to sound steady. Routine briefings, Schumer echoed, anger simmering beneath every word. He held up a third document. Director, here's a sworn statement from the NSA analyst who flagged the Iranian intercept. I'll read. On April 24th, I was ordered by the DNI's office to brief Director Gabbard on the Iranian intercept. During the briefing, she asked for specific technical details from the Iranian conversation, including information on Saudi nuclear cooperation that wasn't in my regular analysis. When I asked why she needed that, she said she was briefing the subject of the intercept that afternoon. I found this highly unusual and documented my concerns immediately. That's the end of the statement. With every word, Gabbard seemed to shrink into herself. Her skin had gone past pale to a sickly gray, and her hands shook so badly she pressed them flat to the table, just trying to keep control. Schumer wasn't done. Director Gabbard, this analyst says you took classified intelligence about Iranian operatives talking about Jared Kushner giving up secrets, and then you turned around and briefed Kushner himself on what you'd learned. Is that true? At 2:23 p.m., Tulsi Gabbard lost it. She tried to stand, her chair screeching across the floor. Her face twisted, rage, panic, desperation. Senator, these accusations are outrageous. They completely mischaracterize standard intelligence work that's meant to protect national security and stop leaks of sensitive materials. Sit down, Director, Chairman Warner snapped, his voice booming. Gabbard dropped back into her seat so fast it looked like her legs had given out. Her hands shook, her breath came in sharp bursts. Schumer reached for his last document, the one that would finish her. "Director Gabbard, I have the full whistleblower complaint you hid away in a classified safe for 8 months. According to the whistleblower, you got intelligence indicating Jared Kushner handed off classified NSC materials to foreign contacts. Instead of investigating, you warned Kushner and buried the evidence." He leaned in, icy and exact. The complaint says, and I quote, "I believe the DNI has engaged in a conspiracy to obstruct investigation of potential espionage activities by a senior administration official. Rather than following proper counterintelligence protocols, the DNI appears to be actively protecting the subject of foreign intelligence intercepts." End quote. The room erupted, but Schumer's voice sliced through the noise. "Director Gabbard, you got credible intel that Jared Kushner was compromised by Iranian intelligence. Instead of launching an investigation, you warned him, then hid the evidence. That's not intelligence management. That's a cover-up." Gabbard stayed frozen, silent. Her career ended right there, torched by documents that showed she'd protected Trump's son-in-law instead of the country. Schumer didn't hesitate. "I move that these documents be sent to the FBI for criminal investigation," he said, locking eyes with the cameras. "The American people deserve to know their director of national intelligence put political loyalty above national security when confronted with evidence of possible espionage." Technically, the hearing kept going. Other senators lobbed questions about Kushner's security clearance and his business deals in the Middle East. It didn't matter. Within minutes, news alerts flashed everywhere. DNI accused of covering up Kushner intelligence breach. Legal experts called for prosecution. Former intelligence officials demanded Gabbard's immediate resignation. Schumer hadn't just exposed a cover-up. He'd laid out, with dates, logs, and testimony, how America's top intelligence official turned the counterintelligence system into a shield for Trump's family. How real warnings of espionage got buried just to protect Jared Kushner. How 8 months of obstruction erased the chance to investigate what could be the biggest intelligence breach in decades. And this story's just getting started. The FBI's already opened a criminal case into Gabbard's handling of the Kushner intel. The Justice Department is looking at espionage charges. Somewhere in the Trump administration, people are probably shredding documents as fast as they can, because if Kushner really handed over classified info to Iranian intelligence, this scandal will make Watergate look like a parking ticket.